Alright guys, welcome back for Unit 5. This unit's whole focus is decimals. At the very end of the unit we'll go over scientific notation, which has to deal with decimals and exponents to the power of 10. So, pretty cool stuff. Decimals can be a little intimidating. Don't let them freak you out. We're going to start slow and steady, and if you have any questions, let me know and we will work through it together. As always, you should be working with me along with the Moodle course, not just this and then no Moodle course, because you do still have to take those skill checks. And there are some practice problems online that can help you out in the Moodle course too. Your goals for this lesson, which is just the introduction to decimal fractions, are to review or learn the names and relative sizes of tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Name decimal fractions in expanded and word forms. Some questions you might think of or might be in the back of your brain that need answered. How are numbers smaller than 1 represented in a decimal form? What are the names of the first 4 place values smaller than 1? And what is the relationship between place values smaller than 1? Okay, so really, we're going to be looking a lot at place value in this lesson. So think about the number 13.6. What do you know about this number? What are some other numbers like this? So this is kind of an opinion question. You really can't get it wrong unless you write nothing. But in your workbook, we're on page 46. So the number 13.6. Well, I know that it has a decimal and a whole number in it. So the decimal is the 0.6. The whole number is 13. Okay. I know that what I know about decimals, I know that the 6 is in the tens place. Just like the 1 is in the tens place. And the 3 is in the ones place. I think that's the trickiest thing about place value, and we'll look at that on the next page. How can 1360 be the same number as 13.6 when they look completely different? Again, this is asking for your thoughts on this. How can these numbers be the same? Think about what you know about numbers, okay? Think about what you know about zeros at the end of numbers. Because if I had 10, and then just added another 0 to it, 10 and 100, big difference between those. I can't do that, okay? Can't add zeros that way. But what if I had this? I had 10 and then I add a 0 this way. Is that still 10? Of course, we would never write 10 like this, but those are still the same thing. It works the opposite way once we add a decimal. So 13.6 is the same as 13.60, is the same as 13.600, okay? All of these are actually equal. 13.600 is no bigger than 13.6 because it's really not 600ths, it's 13 and 6/10ths. Because there's a 0 in the hundreds place and a 0 in the thousandths place. All right, if that confused you, let me know. If you haven't worked a lot with decimals before, or if this was something that you kind of breezed over online last year, it could be confusing, but I want to make sure you really understand decimals starting out. Since this whole unit's in decimals, getting through lesson 1 is going to be imperative. All right, so we're going to go to the next page. This is the page where you would watch the video in your Moodle course and then fill out the notes. There's actually 2 notes pages, so we have page 47 and 48. So in your student workbook, don't forget that. On page 48, you can see the practice problem here, but when you watch that video, it's going to go over the different place values and how those place values are related to each other. I like to think of place value as a stair step. So if I go up the stairs, or down the stairs, they're all going to be in jumps of 10. So let's say I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go up the stairs, and that makes this stair step worth 100. I'm going to go up the stairs another time. That makes this stair worth 1,000. I'm going to go up the stairs another time, 10,000, and so on and so on. And remember, we're just smacking those zeros on, right? Every time I'm multiplying by 10, I'm just adding 1 0. Well, so when I go up the stairs, I'm going to multiply by 10. When I go down the stairs, I'm actually dividing by 10. So remember, this direction was up. Sorry, my arrow got a little crazy there. Okay, but if I go down, then I'm going to have to do dividing by 10. So this is really one would technically be here. Let me erase that, because 10 divided by 10 is 1. Bloop. There we go. I just didn't make enough stairs for myself. So I'm going to divide by 10. And I get 1 there. I'm going to divide by 10 again. And I get 0.1 or 1/10. I'm going to divide by 10 again. And I get 0.01 or 1/100th. So notice how I am smacking on zeros. They're just being smacked on in the opposite way. I'm really like subtracting my zeros. So if I continued to go down my stairs like that, I would continue to just add zeros on before that 1. So after the decimal and before the 1. And you'll see an example like this in the video. They don't use the stair step method, but I really like this visual because it's easy to see how going up the stairs is multiplying and going down the stairs is dividing. But place value is always talking about from one place value to the very next one. It's always in a group of 10, whether it be 10 times more or a multiple of 10. So dividing by 10. Alrighty, so watch that video. Fill out you have some blanks here to fill out. And then I'm going to look at this next problem with you actually. So write the number 2.384 in standard, word, and expanded forms. Pretty fancy, okay? Standard form is the basic form of any number. Okay, your standard form is how you would see it if it was written out. So this would be 2.384. There's nothing crazy about it. Don't have to do anything extra. That's what standard form means. So it means in numerical form. Word form, this is 2. And then you probably noticed that anytime we have a decimal, we don't say decimal, we actually say and. 2 and 384 thousandths. Because the 4 is in the thousandths place. So word form is probably, again, if you need more room, you can always write in this space on the bottom of page 48. I clearly write a little bigger. If I were actually writing on paper, it would probably be smaller. And then your expanded form, that's where you add all the place values together. So first I have the 2. Okay, I'm going to move to my next place value, and then I have 0.3. You do not have to put this 0 here. I actually have a habit of not putting that 0, and sometimes I will forget and lose my decimal. So if you need that placeholder, that 0 is going to help you out, okay? And then I'm going to add the next one. And again, you can also add the zeros after that, since there are actually 2 place values left after the 3. And then I'm going to do 0.080, okay? And then I'm going to do plus 0.004. So that is the expanded form of this number. A little trickier than regular expanded form, but I know that you've practiced expanded form with with regular numbers that don't have decimals, with whole numbers. So this should be another skill. We're just expanding on that skill, okay?